been challenging this first half of the year. It's with the new rule changes, the way the hybrid is, tyre compounds, we've had to maybe approach it slightly differently. Competition has definitely become a lot harder. Rivals have upped their game over winter. So yeah, we've gone about our game slightly differently. We've been consistent, been chasing the points, not so much the wins like we were last year. So it's been different and challenging. Yeah, ultimately I want to show that my tool set is not just about winning races. I want to be that consistent driver. I want to know when to push, know when to defend hard for your positions. So building that tool set up and utilising that as the year goes on, it is a key part to the multiple success that we're aiming to achieve. So I've got about 4 of my championships now, very differently in each one. And this is a new light for me, trying to go for the 5th. Yeah, definitely my time in touring cars, I've matured, I've changed, and I've looked at the bigger outcome. I think you look at what Ash was in 2017 when he first won that championship to the current Ash, they are very, very different. And yes, the pace was always there. We've improved the pace, don't get me wrong, and extracting the maximum out of each package, whether that's car or driver, but in terms of personality behind the wheel, when to get stuck in, when to not, that's definitely been different. Yeah, I feel like I've missed a couple of opportunities to claim a win. One of them being at Donington. We've had a quick car. Has it been outright the quickest? Maybe not, but we've now kind of found a little bit that we were looking for at Thruxton, and that come to light. I think we were aiming for a race 2 win at Thruxton. A little bit of damage obviously stopped that, but yeah, to come away with that win in race 3 was, I don't want to say monkey off the back, but because ultimately a win's a win, but we're here for the points. So yeah, it's nice to get one under our belt, and I don't plan to just sit on one. Obviously, I think we're the only driver to make it through all 3 sessions each weekend, so that's great. That shows that we've got the pace, but twice now we were nearly out in Q1, and the quick 6 has really spiced it up. The fact we have to deliver in 1 lap, the pressure of having to do that lap 3 times in 3 different sessions, and there's also the added element that you could be sat in the pit lane watching another session live, and it's a weird environment to be in, and something we're all as drivers having to change and adapt to. But Saturday's definitely become a bit livelier and more important than ever. Our pain is your pleasure, as I say. It's we go through the stress of it all, and we used to look back. Even last year, we'd try and get through certain qualifying groups when we had the 2 qualifying sessions on a used set of tyres and try and save tyres back. We can't afford to do that. The hybrid's too powerful now, competition levels changed, and the combination of the two mean we are 2 for now, through and through every lap. We approach the weekend knowing exactly where we want to use it. Obviously race day changes the amount of laps you have. That totally depends on where you qualify, what battle you're in. But yeah, come Saturday, we kind of know where we're going to be using it before we've even arrived here. So that's quite handy information. We've had that sort of information for the past few years, but we are seeing that massive delta in the hybrid. I think for sure it's livened up the racing. We're seeing a lot more overtakes, and the good thing, we're not making the move solely on hybrid. We're getting alongside. We're still having to complete the move on the brake and through the corner, which I think is really key. We didn't want it to become static and people just making that move on a button. So it's been good in that respect, and it's definitely given us as drivers more to think about. For sure, and we're seeing a hell of a lot of that. Engineers are having more of a say in the racing to some extent, and that input to the driver, knowing, for example, when your rival is deploying behind you, do you then have the choice? Do you want to use a lap up? Do you want to use that to defend? Do you want to save that for later in the race? So sometimes you actually sacrifice the position to have more hybrid at the back end of the race. And yeah, we all go about it differently. Don't get me wrong, we're going to see places like we saw at Snet when we've got such a long straight. You will see a car make a move on hybrid, but it's because they're dumping the lot in a straight line. But the short places, your Alton Park, Knock Hill, places like that, it's only ever going to allow us to get alongside. But it's still racing, we're still getting door to door, we're still getting stuck in, and that's what you guys love. That driver-engineer relationship is more important than ever. I'm quite fortunate that I've had many years building up to that. Me and Tony first sort of met in 2017 and started working together in 19. So we've got a real good relationship. I mean, we're in business together outside of touring cars. So we're friends, we're race colleagues. It's a perfect scenario for me, and I hope to have that relationship continue. But that interaction we're now having between us during a live race and that data and that feedback that we need, it is more important than ever, and it plays to the end result. The race wins, the race podiums, just the overall result, and ultimately the hunt for that championship. We win it and lose it together. You saw a little bit of it at Snet. There's some guys, I was being one of them in race 2, where we put the hard tyre on because we had to, but the rain conditions changed it. I think somewhere like Alton Park, Croft, when we have this bigger tyre delta going into it, that's when we're going to see the rule come into its own, and we're going to see that driver in 11th, 12th fighting for a race win because they've got the tyre advantage. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plans out. The business takes over a little bit for me. It's a busy period, a lot of events, Formula 1, Goodwood, etc. So my business is sort of flat out in that respect, but yeah, try and get away. We're going away for a family holiday, so get away with the little one and the missus and have a reset, I think is key, and then approach the second half exactly the same as we have done this year.